Good morning, Lisa.
Hi.
How,
How are you,
how are you
Delinda?
today? I'm doing
Good.
good. I'm doing good.
Just a little
So,
wind
I
outside.
have to say, I haven't even been out there, but boy, we have had some wind the last couple of days.
Yeah,
What was
I
it?
feel
Sunday.
strange wearing a little sweater in June, almost June now.
And
So,
Kansas City's been raining for days, so it's been windy and raining. Of course, I don't know if you noticed that whole belt of storms through the whole Midwest. They had hail and terrible storms through Texas and Oklahoma. I always feel so
yes.
bad for them. Oh, in that season. And sometimes Kansas City gets just the edge of it with the rain and stuff, which is a blessing as opposed to getting the full blown thing.
Kathy says hi from rainy Kansas.
Yeah, Kathy, Bill said like he's only been back 2 days and it's like he's ready to leave again. Like, really? Oh gosh, crazy. And you have your meeting this morning or your luncheon today, right, Kathy? ABWA this morning. Give a little plug to that group. What a great group! They're a fun group of ladies. I'm a member of the one on the evening group, and Kathy's on the board of the daytime.
Oh, fun.
One of the daytime groups, yeah. So, and I don't know. I haven't checked here. I think there is an ABWA here. I could go visit meetings. But
Hi,
I need to
Brenda.
find. Huh?
I just was saying Brenda checked in too. So.
Hey, Brenda. Good morning. Nice to see you. Sort of. I don't really see you, but nice to have you with us. You'll be able to join us for one of our luncheons or something in Kansas City that second week of June. It'd be nice to have you come. I think sometimes you come to the Wednesday, but whichever. We're back. We're at Corporate Woods on Tuesday, and then at Pega's and Lenexa on Wednesday. So plug for those group meetings there. Okay. Yeah. What's my screen? I'm still trying to see if my screen will scroll down a little bit. Oh, there it goes. Okay, ta-da. Okay, so last night was our Surge Mastermind. And just as a reminder, because every so often I like to remind you guys of the various things that we have going on here. So Surge actually stands for Shape Your Success, Unleash Your Power, Rejuvenate Your Spirit, Grow in Confidence, and Energize Your Life. And it's a membership program that we have that is there to uplift you, encourage you, so you don't feel like you're running your business by yourself or hitting your head against a wall. Because sometimes, especially as women entrepreneurs and running our own businesses, and most of you run your business out of your home, and so sometimes you just feel like you're kind of in it by yourself. So Surge is a way of coming alongside of you, sending you motivational messages, but a big part of that also, or not but, and not but, and we have a mastermind once a month where experts in the field, those that are in, join in, and we talk about various subjects. And last night we were talking about customer service. So what did you think about that last night, Lisa?
It was awesome. When you get yourself in groups like this associated with amazing women who have accomplished what they have in our group, it's such an energetic meeting. And the discussion that we had not only taught us new things, but it reinforced other behaviors that we had. And it just, you walk away feeling empowered by what you're doing and inspired. So it was a great meeting. It was a great meeting.
So as we think about customer service, and we very often have some ladies that join us on these Tuesday mornings that aren't actually at the moment in a business. They may be retired or they're doing something different. Hi, Allison. Good morning. I've missed you. It's nice to see you back. And so I think you can take what we're going to talk about really into the other parts of your life, because customer service is how you treat your customers? What do you do for them? But it really goes alongside it. If you have committee meetings, if you do other things in your life, I mean, even in our families, although, although sometimes I think we feel like we are the servers, which we're serving our family. So maybe you tweak the word, and maybe in your other things that you're doing in your life, you don't really call it customer service. But, how, my question today is, what does your customer service say about you? So if you guys want to put words in there, so when you walk into, let's take a retail establishment, because that's the easiest right now. When you walk into a retail establishment to buy something, or whether it's to get ice cream or to go grocery shopping or to go to the cleaners, why do we go back to the same places? For me, I go back because of how they make me feel. I go back because of the customer service. Because if I walk into, let's say, cleaners, and they ignore me and don't acknowledge that I'm there, and it's as if they don't really care, I do not go back. I'm not going to spend my money in an establishment that makes me feel that way. So when you think about customer service, from your perspective as a customer, what are some words that stand out to you as to why you would go back to that place? What do you think, Lisa? And those of you, write some comments, or when somebody gives you good customer service, how does that make you feel? What is it they're
generally
doing?
Speaking, I feel like it, I think it was Kathy last night that brought up the word awareness. If they're aware of me and I'm not invisible, then I feel like I've had a good day. I mean, it's not necessarily that they do everything perfect or anything, but it's just that I want them to be there and present. Recently in grocery stores and other places, have you noticed how they're taking people out of the equation in our merchant services, which I think is probably a very bad thing for them? I mean, yes, it saves them on paying an employee, but I get no interaction with them. And frankly, I think what they're doing to themselves is going to be rather interesting, because now one establishment, I mean, one cold piece of machinery versus another cold piece of machinery, none of it acknowledges that I'm there. And, I'm going to probably go and patronize another business. Well, actually not maybe, I do. Go patronize another business where I can find a person that I can interact with. And that's because I think there's a need for everyone to know that somebody cares about us on whatever level it is, sincerely.
Absolutely. I think you're right. And funny you should bring that up, because I was just at one of those grocery stores yesterday, and they've just done this big remodel, right? And half of what used to be the row of checkout people is now the machines, go do it yourself. Right. And there's one person at the end in case you have a problem that will be there to help you. But it is a very, and I guess if you're going in and you just want to grab your couple of items and go through there and don't even want to have any interaction, then that's great for you. But, like you say, basically, I think our world is getting more impersonal all the time. We're using the benefit right now of Facebook and those things. Yeah. We are face to face, the two of us. But I think we're spending as a society so much more time on social media and doing all of that we think that we've got all these friends and we have all these relationships, but kind of that's not true. And when do we actually have a conversation with someone? Yeah. Which is why I love networking.
Yeah, Brenda said that she likes a positive attitude and happy to be doing the work they are doing. And she also said and confirmed that she does not do self-checkout. And I don't either if I can possibly avoid it. Yeah, and not because I don't like technology. I'm fine with the technology. I just prefer the people.
Yeah, it's just nice to have a little like, how are you today? Or, you're looking great. And because I love to compliment people, and again, I only do it if it's authentic. I don't just make it up. But there's always something, and I just love that feeling of being able to make someone else feel better, to make just a little teeny tiny difference of I love your hair, or you're so great at this, and whatever it might be. So that interaction that happens. So if we think about how we like to feel when we go into that type of environment, then what are we doing in our businesses to make our customers feel important? And I think I shared this with the group last night, that when I was in Mary Kay, one of the things that we were taught is imagine that every person is wearing a sign that says, "Make me feel important."
That's a great idea.
That's what people want, So how can we, in our businesses or as we go through our daily life, how can we make others feel important? Why do they want to keep buying our services? Why do they want to continue, whether it's, and I'm trying to think of the people that are on here. Why do they want to keep coming back if we don't make, if we don't make them feel important? So we had some good words yesterday, like you said, awareness. Actually acknowledge that you're there is a really good one. What are some of the other words? And you guys out over here, so be sure to send us a message. So what are some words that we can use to help us in our customer service relationships? Because that's what it is all about. It's building a relationship with a customer, with a client, that keeps them connected to us. So what were some of those other words, Lisa, or any that you want to interject?
I know that we talked about going the extra mile was one of the other things. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having that morning fog moment.
Well, that's
I did listen.
Well, I'm a cheater. I wrote them down. Okay,
I see how it is. This is a test.
But you're right, going the extra mile. And I think the one that we all agreed on that almost encompasses all of this is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If we really treat everyone, whether it's in our business or in our families or in our committee meetings, how we would like to be treated, all of that kind of works its way around.
Yeah. Well, Kathy put above and beton.
Kathy, that may be the first time I've ever seen you make a mistake. It's like, oh my goodness. So nice to know that you're not exactly perfect, girlfriend.
Oh no, she's still perfect. She was just doing that to make us feel better. But anyway,
make sure we were paying attention, right?
Yeah. But and I had a thought and it left again. But anyway, the thing is that going above and beyond and helping. Oh, I know what it was. It was when we are told as Christians, stories about different things. I find that there's a lot of customer service in Scripture, so a lot of times I look to that. But the story of the Good Samaritan is a type of customer service to our own fellow men. And you were talking about the fact that not everybody has businesses, but we are expected to be aware of people and to also go above and beyond, and the golden rule and those things in our relationships, which is those are carryovers from customer service or vice versa, however you look at it, in our lives that we need to have for any good relationship that we have, and nurturing that.
Absolutely. Another really good word, I think, too, is trust, because we're building up trust with our clients. So if you say, and one of the other words was being timely, responding in a timely manner. Is a great one. I think that's the one that you brought up. And I think as our customers, our clients, the people in our sphere of influence, let's just put it that way, when they begin to trust us, then they know that we are a woman of our word. If we say we're going to call them tomorrow to follow up, then that's what they expect. And when we show that we are, that we do follow up, or if you're going to send them this contract within the next 2 days, that we actually do it in that timely manner, they can trust us to be a woman of our word and to be authentic. And in a business situation, I think that's really crucial. And I see so much of that not happening. So I tend to like want to really make sure I do that because I see it as a real falling down. I think in prior time, it used to be more important. And I think really just being honest is another one of those words of just being honest in all of our dealings. Not that any of us are going to set out, not any of our people that are y'all that are out there are going to set out there to lie. But there is a lot of deceit and not truthfulness that happens out there in the world in other business. But we can control how we are treating people. You know, are we being honest? Are we? If you can't meet the deadline, then just say so. And be proactive with it. Don't just react and then try to make excuses because we didn't do something that we said we would do or we were going to try to do or whatever that is. I think really most people can handle most anything if they just know, if we just give them a chance to to give us grace maybe.
Yeah, no, it's I think part of customer service and relationships has to do with being forthright and truthful to that person and realize, and actually trusting them to have care and other things for us as the person giving the service. People definitely, when you tell them, it's like, hey, I'm sick and I won't be able to get this done in the next few days. That I've never had anybody go, oh my goodness, I can't believe that you're sick. And how dare you? I mean, they may get off the phone and say that, but they don't say it to my face.
Or too bad, do it anyway, or something like that.
Exactly.
Right. And I think too, this isn't, well, because customer service is a relationship, but I think even in our families, it's so important. I think most of us really try to, if we tell our kids that we're going to do something at a certain time, that we really strive to do that. But there are those things that happen. I mean, that just come up. And I think rather than just sloughing them off, just really sitting down with the kids and say, Mommy promised this. We were planning on this, but here's what's happened, and so here instead, or here's where we're going to do this item. And really, I know for me, I really strive to not have to have those conversations. But truthfully, my kids are 30, whatever they are now, 37 and 39. And there have been times that I wasn't able to do things on that exact moment or time that I had hoped to. But just being forthright and honest in all of our relationships, not just in our business. If something arrives, you're waiting for a product maybe that this person's waiting for, one of your clients. I mean, it's not your fault that UPS or whoever it was didn't get it to you on time, or that there was a winter storm. But I think addressing it is really an important thing to do. Just put it out there. And so many times I think they feel like that confrontation. It's like, oh, I just hate confrontation. I don't like to talk about those things. But the truth is, a lot of times it's really not. It's just a matter of, we had a delay with this product or whatever.
Yeah, Kathy brings up an interesting point that people are finding fear in interacting these days, and that's so true. And she says that Uber offers a no chat option, and some hair salons offers silent chairs so that they don't have to chat with the stylist. And there is a lot of trepidation, and because we are boxing ourselves off from talking to people, and people don't know how to talk to people. Brenda, we also had somebody come in, Kathy Larson. She said hi, and then Brenda said that Kathy Weaver, that's sad. And it is sad that we don't talk to each other. And I mean, that's why networking, boy, I tell you, networking is such a great way to overcome that, if you let it anyway.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really love about, because it gets us out of our homes, out of our comfort zone oftentimes. And we do have to have face-to-face conversation. And so the more you do that, the better you get.
Well, and
whether
people
it's
blame conversation on, because Jay said that too many electronics, people blame it on electronics, but to tell you the truth, some of it's just the breakdown of the family and not being there and chatting with each other. I mean, we don't have dinner at the table. You know, we're not talking to each other. It's a passing in the night. I've seen families literally, because Paul's, a family therapist, and he said they'd be in the waiting room talking to each other on their phones. And yeah, that's technology, but it's also, the fact that like in my house, it'd be, pull all that out and it's like, talk to my face, not, don't you send me a text across the living room.
I know it's an odd, it's a crazy thing. And yeah, Kathy, I didn't know. You mentioned one other time somewhere where we were about the silent chairs, and that was shocking to me. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I understand maybe some people maybe their jobs are face-to-face dealing with people all the time. So when they go to the salon, they just really do want peace and quiet because their whole day is dealing with people. So I'll try to give a little grace there for those people like that. But it's like, really, and I use that, I shouldn't do the like word. I noticed myself do that a couple times. It's not like, it is. But the thing with Uber, which I have to say, overall, I don't use Uber as much as I do Lyft, but overall, my Lyft drivers haven't been too bad as far as chit-chatting, but some of them have, would you please just be quiet? I'm on my way to the airport or something, and I don't need to know about all this stuff you want to tell me. A little polite conversation is fine. So it's interesting about that. Those are two areas that I have noticed as well.
And Jay says, my granddaughter will not eat with us. We have guardianship of her. So what do you do, Jay? How do you handle that situation?
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, which one of you is on? Is Jay on or is Kathy on? Let me put on here who we're talking to, because I know y'all shared it. Yeah, because y'all share the Facebook page. So who are we talking to here? Is this Kathy?
I see. Yeah, let us know. Excuse me.
How great it is to see you, girlfriend. How are you doing? And yes, you're right. As we were talking about, networking is a great option out there. So one of the things that, so y'all know I was, our family business has been property management, managing apartment buildings throughout the country for, Bill's been doing it longer than I've known him. So he's probably been doing about 45 years. And one of the things that we have taught through the years, and as I go out and speak to apartment associations and managers and stuff, is how are they addressing when somebody walks in the door? Because the truth is, in any business, the moment the person enters your property, even from the parking lot, when they're walking in, what is it that we're saying to them? So, if it's in a retail thing, obviously you don't have too much control of that. If somebody's renting an apartment, from the moment they drive in the property, what is it saying? That it's well maintained and taken care of, and you're going to feel at home here. What is the message that we are sending? And Kathy, okay, that's what I figured it was, but I knew you had the joint message there, so I'm glad to know who it was. But when somebody walks in, so again, whether it's at a committee meeting, whether it's a sitting down for coffee with someone, whether it's a follow-up from a product you're delivering to a customer, all of these things. When you see the person, what do? Do you just keep on, like if you're in the middle of something else, or do you acknowledge that they've walked in the room? So look up from the desk or from what you're doing. I would say when you're going into a networking thing, one of the things that really gets me is, and I know that y'all are doing this because you're nervous and because you're fearful and because you're not sure what you're supposed to say. All of that enters in there, but it's really easy to take your purse and be shuffling around in your purse because you're unsure of yourself. So it gives you a distraction, or you're finishing a message on your phone that maybe you didn't really need to do, wasn't really that important. But again, it acts as a distraction for us walking in. so that you can give yourself a moment to have to look up and smile. And yeah, we've talked about this before, but just smiling, just lifting your eyes, making an eye contact and smiling at someone. Sometimes you don't even have to say anything, or you can just little nod a good morning, or, you know, those easy things of it's nice to see you, you know, unless it's really not nice to see them. So then don't say anything. But in most cases it is, right?
Yeah.
But I think, again, I think you said that right at the beginning, Lisa, and, you know, the word awareness, or, you know, acknowledge that I'm there.
So what we might say that's a little deeper is that customer service is coming out of our comfort zone to a certain extent when we need to do these things. And so, you know, some of that is maybe trying to figure out how to come out of our comfort zone. So what would you suggest are some tactics on coming out of your comfort zone? So, you know, because I'm an introvert person, what would you tell to me what to do about that when I'm in a situation with customer service and it's hard for me to look up at the person, or I mean, I know you just gave some examples on that in a sense, but mentally inside my head, what can I tell myself about that? Because you're good about speak.
Yeah, because it's not about you. I mean, we are so afraid that they're going to think something bad about us. They're thinking, we're thinking, oh, well, what if they don't like me? Or what if I'm not dressed? And do I look as good as, you know, am I dressed appropriately for this? Or what are they going to think about me? And what if I say the wrong thing? So what I believe is true is that most of the time we're so worried about how it's affecting us, we're making it all about us, when the truth is it's all about them. So if we can switch that in our head and start thinking, how can I make them feel better? How can I show Lisa how important she is to me? You know, how can I show Kathy how much I appreciate her? And all of those things, when you make that mind shift, it really changes everything, I think. And it's just a way of, you know, how can I be a blessing? That's my prayer every morning. And y'all have heard me say that before. When I get up, it's like, you know, make me a blessing today. How can I be a blessing to someone else? So whether it was delivering a Mary Kay product, I always liked it if they were home, you know, because then I could actually have a face-to-face. And, you know, I know that they don't always want to have a big, long conversation, but I can say, you know, here's your product, you know, good morning. You know, it's great to see you, you know, have a wonderful day, and be gone. I don't want to take advantage of their time and space. You know, that's another thing, is being respectful for people's time.
Well, and, you know, yeah, definitely. And one of the things that I've done before with clients that intimidate me, because before I did authors, I worked with a lot of big business entities. And so you go in there, and it was intimidating to go into a room with somebody who runs $100 million company, and you know, they have that confidence level. And so before the meeting, I'd be like, okay, he's gonna like me. Okay, he's good. We're gonna have that, you know. And I'd sit there and I'd say these things, and it's like half of me believed it and half of me didn't. But it didn't really matter, because once I walked in there, I could at least start to say. But I like what you said about the getting out of yourself and just serving somebody. I hadn't really placed it in that position in my mind. That puts it in a very good light in terms of just, you know, forget yourself and serve, and that's a good way to do it too. So.
And I do think that because many of us have those moments, and I love that you said that about your big clients. There are always going to be in each of our lives those people who may be intimidating to us. You know, they're either their education level or their accomplishment level or their financial. You know, they're billionaires or whatever, tend to maybe make us feel a little less than. And the truth is, that's so not true. You're still the great person you are. We still are who we are, but we allow that, again, this because of our own insecurities, where so we can release that. And like say, you know, I do have a great service. What I have to offer is valuable, and I want to share that with them. I want to make a difference in their life. How can this make their life just a little bit better? And so when we're focusing on what our product or service is and how it truly can change their life or enhance their life or make it better, then I think a lot of those fear things will go away. Interesting, Carmen, who's one of our Fun Fearless Female gals, sent me a message this morning. It was just so funny how these things happen. And she said, you gave an acronym one time for fear. And she says, what was that? She says, I've gone looking at my notes and I can't find it. And y'all heard this before, is fear is false evidence appearing real. We look at something and we think, what we're thinking about it oftentimes isn't even true. And so it's appearing real to us. But when we could just come back and say, there really is nothing to be afraid of. But again, what you have to offer, what you have to say is important, or you wouldn't be saying it, or you wouldn't be representing the product. So it's kind of going back to the basics within ourselves, I think.
Yeah.
One of the, I was in y'all know I'm in this group called GIFTS, Girlfriends in Friendship Together. It's a Friday morning group that meets at my church. And in the last couple of years, one of the things we were talking about is, and I just never had thought of this. It was one of those little ahas, and saying, what do you do when one of your family members enters the room? So let's say I'm in the middle of a movie. I love movies, right? And I get into them. I mean, I'm like walking in the movie with them. So I'm engaged here. And so then Bill walks in the room, and seldom is he going to come in with, he may have a question or whatever. So what do you do? And so in the past, I would sort of wait either till a commercial or something like that. And the leader of our study said, why do we do that? So what we're saying, in essence, is, excuse me, but my TV show is more important than you, more important than our relationship. It's like, that is not what I'm saying. But yeah, it kind of is, right? So I really do not do that anymore. That's what the pause button is for.
Yep.
So, if I'm watching a movie or a show or whatever, if Bill or one of the kids, now the kids aren't around very much, so when the kids are around, I'm so happy to have them here. I really don't even have the TV on, right? But I will just pause it and I'll look immediately at him and say, hey, guys, so, what's up? Did you need something? And it might be a quick question, or, when are we going to have lunch, or are we going to go out? Whatever. It doesn't have to be any earth-shaking thing. But the fact that I would stop, put the pause on, shows him that he is more important than the TV. So what are things?
I was letting you know that we've hit the end of our time.
Oh no, already. It's like, oh my gosh, it seems like I looked and it was a quarter to just a little ago. So think about those things. So even, so in our families and our relationships and the other things that we do in our life, as well as our business, how does your customer service make other people feel? Are you making a difference in a positive way to them? So, Kathy, thanks for putting the Dear Delinda at Gmail up there. Any of y'all that want to reach out to me privately, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
Were you going to say something else, Lisa?
Nope. I was just saying the same thing you did.
Oh. So, and if you would like a free month of Surge motivational messages, send me a message to deardelinda@gmail.com, and I will put you on the free message plan. So put it on there so that we can stay connected on an even deeper level. So that would be great. All right, you guys, as always, I want you to remember that life is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. Choose wisely. Go out, make it a fabulous week. Think about what you're doing in your customer service and how we're treating others and making them feel. And for goodness sakes, make a difference as you go. Give some smiles out there. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for being here. Bye.